When I look back over the 10 years of my business, something that has occurred to me and what I hear a lot of entrepreneurs talk about is it's more about who you know, not just what you know. And how do you find those people you need to know, get in their circle, and be a part of their life? My name is Chaz Wilson, the president and founder of Master Networks, Blue 42 Marketing, and Wilson Leadership. And this is something I wished I'd known when I started my business. When I started my business, I think one of the things that I was looking for is how do I find the type of businesses and business owners and mentors that I want to have in my life? Also, how do I create a business that is focused on the relationships of people? That is the very key and reason that I started my business to begin with. See, I had been part of a networking organization for over 10 years. And that networking organization had helped me grow my, at that time, real estate business and practice to be very successful. I give a lot of credit to that, to the framework of that. But one of the things that happened in that networking group, and one of the rules that had been created, is that it was a very strict, based on transactions and referrals only. There wasn't a tremendous amount of focus on building deep relationships with the people in this networking group, which looking back seems a little bit contradictory to the premise of networking. Nonetheless, that's what it was. And so when my youngest two boys, my twins, the youngest of our 5 children, were born, one of them had to have surgery. And what happened was I missed a couple of meetings to this networking group. And then after they recovered and took care of my family and everything, felt like my feet were underneath me, I went to my mailbox and there was a letter that said that I had missed a few meetings and they were going to replace me. Now, I've told this story many times, and I want to be clear that I understand that was the rules of that group. However, what it opened my eyes to was this transactional nature of this group, because over those few weeks that I was out, no one reached out to me. And again, I don't blame them. I'm not pointing fingers at anyone. I'm just helping paint the picture that the framework of this was transactional, not relational. And so I then wanted to start a networking group that was based on relationships and not just transactions. And that's when we started Master Networks over 10 years ago. Now we have thousands of members. And what we find is that as a business owner, people want to do business with those who they know, like, and trust. Well, if we already know that as a business owner, it's about knowing, liking, and trusting. Why would we then create a framework of transactional versus relational? No, we want relational. That's what we want so that people know us, they like us, and that relationship over time deepens, they will then trust us. There's several places I take my family. We go out to eat. And as soon as we walk in, the owner comes out and says hello. And that kind of environment makes me want to go there versus another option that I have. So as you're running your business, take that in mind. And I'm going to give you a couple of tips to help you have a more relational business than transactional. The first is know your customer's name. If you can get to know your customer's names, super important. Number 2, we use something called a high five. So the high five is after you get that customer's name or prospect's name, how do you build the relationship of 5 contacts in the next 5 days to start to bridge and build that relationship? And then third is something we call a 48 touch, which is over the next year, once a week, there's 48 touches with that person. And it's email, phone calls, text messages, in person, things that draw them in about themselves. And if you don't have a database where you're keeping track of this stuff, you're really missing the opportunity to really build that relational business versus a transactional business. So that's the part as you as a business owner. The second part, and how I started this video, was to help you think about how relational versus transactional helps you connect with those who either help you as a mentor or help you grow your business through your network. There's really 2 ways to do that. That's to earn your way and to buy your way. I think Russell Brunson's the one who talks about that often. Like, how do I earn my way and how do I buy my way into somebody's circle or network? I'm going to share with you how I've done both, but primarily the relational side. The opportunity to get into people's circle that are helping me get to a level of significance. So I was at a networking meeting and a gentleman sat next to me who I got to know. I reached out, I just started talking to him and said, tell me about your business. What are you up to? And he said, well, I actually own a conference called Video Marketing World. And he shared it with me and I said, great, where is it and how can I be involved? So I built a relationship with him. I bought a ticket to it. That's how I bought my way in, if you will. And then he reached out to me and said, hey, could you bring other people to this conference? And so through my influence and impact, I brought about 40 people to this workshop. That's how I now earned my way as well. And now we built a relationship. At that event was a gentleman who was a sponsor, a vendor sponsor. I went up and I started to talk to him, and he was with a company that then through that relationship sponsored our event that we host. And at that event, their lead sales guy came and I said, hey, if there's ever an opportunity to connect with your founder of your company, who's somebody I would love to have as a mentor and be in his circle, please let me know. And at that point, he said, sure, I'll let you know, no problem. And that then happened. And so take a 2-year time frame of being relational with these people. That was entirely the point. There was no end goal of, oh, I'm going to get to know these people so I can connect with this person over here. I just built relationships, friendships with them, and that's opened up doors of opportunity for me. I assure you in business, if you remain focused on being relational, because I believe that every person in business is just one relationship away from changing their future. You're not one more transaction. You're not one more marketing idea. You're one relationship away from changing your future. And as I look at everything in my life that's of significance at that top level, it's come through relationships. So as a business owner, if you focus on relationships first, the rest works out. This is definitely something I wish I'd known when I started my business. Again, I'm Chaz Wilson with Master Networks, Blue 42 Marketing, and Wilson Leadership. And if you like this, make sure you share it and subscribe.